Metal Slug.
Cream. Top story tonight. Well, two top stories tonight. Here's how battle... enhance? No. Alright, this is actually the proper amount of enhancement. Here's how battle packs, battle plans, and the General's Handbook work in new AOS. How's that background music? Chilling at negative 45 dB. I think we're good. Warlords issue tactical commands to their warriors. Wizards cast destructive spells, and priests chant prayers to their deities. All while grand armies clash in the swell of churning melee. The new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar brings epic battles to life, but there's more to the game than rushing your troops to the middle of the battlefield to grind each other down in the glorious death pit. Especially if you don't want to straight lose to the countercharge. You haven't missed anything. News begins now. I am sad that I'm sad that battle tactics are staying, but we'll get to that in a second. Battle packs and battle plans. Too many battles, too many battle words. We just got rid of mortal wounds, now it's mortal damage. I think battle plans, battle packs, battle tactics. I think there's too many battles. Mix it up. Anyway, provide objectives to fight over and a framework for deeper battles. And they're the focus of today's article. Yeah, battle tomes as well. Too much battle. Before playing any game of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, you'll pick a battle pack. Spearhead, Path to Glory. Wait, hold on. Battle toads. Yeah, true. Ahem. Before playing any game of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, you'll pick a battle pack. Spearhead, no. Path to Glory, no. Matched play. This will tell you which advanced rules modules you're using and provides a selection of missions known as battle plans, not to be confused with battle packs, and sometimes other modifiers on top of that. The First Blood battle pack is in the core rules for the new edition and uses all the advanced rules modules found therein. First Blood, hold on. Yep, those guys look cool. These guys are hard to buy nowadays. These guys are hard to find. Foulwater Troggoths. First Blood has a choice of 3 battle plans, or games that last 4 battle rounds. Oh. This is the one that comes in the core rules though, right? But still, interesting. First Blood battle pack, which contains 3 battle plans for games that last 4 battle rounds. Is this a typo? Or this is just like, it's the thing in the core rules, so we want people to kind of get it over with quickly? I think it's the latter. Because previously they mentioned 5 battle rounds for the actual game. This is like the intro. You'll need to score more victory points than your opponent to win, and the scoring here is simple. At the end of their turn, a player scores 2 points for holding 1 objective, 2 further points for holding 2 or more, another 2 for holding more objectives than their opponent, and 4 if they scored their battle tactic. Ooh, we're doubling the points from battle tactics. Oh no. Okay, well, Warhammer Age of Battle Tactics is still fully alive, to my chagrin. Gross. Maybe that's just for the new player one, because they're trying to introduce new players to Battle Pack. I don't. This is copium. This is absolute copium. I'm sad. Yeah, it used to be, they're just doubling everything, right? Percentage-wise, it's the same. Because it used to be 1, 2 more, and then battle tactic, right? So we got 5. Now it's 1, 2 more, 2, 4, 6, battle tactic 4. It's actually the exact same. It's just 10 points a battle round instead of 5. Maybe they wanted the nice round number. It's just 10 every time. It's 50 for the game. Maybe that's... They're just making the numbers bigger for no reason. Okay. All right, we're good. In the first battle pack, each battle plan comes with a different objective layout and unique twist. A rule that can alter how you score victory points. Provide the underdog. Oh, we're learning the underdog. We're learning. This is what the underdog mechanic is. Player with fewer victory points at the start of the round, okay, with a boo-in, or both. In Stake the Claim, the twist allows the underdog to choose an objective and prevent it from being controlled for... Oh, that's the same thing that we have on some of them anyway. Okay. Inflation in my war game. You haven't played the game, but you gather this is somewhat bad news. So far, not really. I'm sad that battle tactics are still in the game, because I generally just didn't like them at all. But if they have to still be in the game, maybe it's not all bad news. The next news article talks about them, so we'll get to that when we get to it. So Underdog gets 1 command point and something extra. Are Grand Strats gone? Not sure yet. I think so. Dragon 240. In my opinion, the thing out of the 2 to keep would have been Grand Strats. If you had to choose one to get rid of, I would have gotten rid of tactics and kept grand strategies and then made them good. But, you know, alright. Twist. At the start of the battle round, there's an underdog. You can pick one objective. It's no longer controlled by either player and cannot be controlled this battle round. Oh, it's not gone forever. Okay. On some of the later battle plans, you could, like, explode one of the objectives and just take it off the table like it's gone, right? First Blood's a fantastic framework for your first forays into match play games. Excellent tool for easy and balanced pickup games. But if you're after a naughty or tactical challenge or want to start testing your mettle for tournaments, you want to play games with the General's Handbook. The first of which comes in the upcoming launch set. For the first time ever, all your battle plans, battle tactics, and the 24-25 season rules will be included in the launch set. So you'll have everything you need to start playing the game right away. Alright, let's find out what they look like. Match play tournaments use the framework prevented by the General's Handbook, and it's a great way of standardizing events worldwide. Oh, okay. Tightening the leash on what TOs are doing. Interesting. I wonder if they will comply. It also provides extra tactical challenges in the form of season rules, which may alter how you approach building lists or your strategic decisions on the table. Flame Lurk? Ugh, yeah. The first of these books for the new edition of Age of Sigmar is the General's Handbook 24-25, features 12 battle plans plucked from the past 8 years of competitive play and reimagined for the new edition. Cool. 12 is fine. As voted for by the Warhammer Studios playtesters and tournament organizers. Big. Okay. A thrilling trip down memory lane for veterans and a guarantee of robust battle plans for new players. Each game in this battle pack. So many battles, I like start to say there's so many ways this word could go. I gotta wait. I gotta say this word slowly. Because battle pack could be battle plan. It could be a lot of things. Battle scroll, battle tome. And each battle plan explains the scoring rules and any twists that might be involved. Border War, a firm favorite for 2016. Is back and gives us a glimpse into how scoring works in the new General's Handbook. Okay. Battle War. Battle Plan 1. Battle War. Two armies approach the same battlefield determined to capture the vital ground that separates their territories and, if possible, strike deep into enemy territory. Okay. It's the square. This one's worth more. This one's worth more. These are worth the same. Yours is worth 1, the other person's is worth 4 is how it used to work. Maybe it's 1 and 3. We'll see. Victory points scored by each player from controlling objectives are capped at a maximum 6 per turn. Interesting, okay. That's kind of what they were doing already. They're just saying it's capped now. They're using different language. But before it was 1, 2 more. And before that, it was you can get as many points as you can get. Like the second edition way. I don't know if I like capping it, but it was already capped, kind of, in 3rd edition anyway. So we're just continuing that. Yeah, you vote for battle territory instead of deployment? Yeah. We need more battle words. Does knowing the cardinal direction ever matter? They have north on this map? Yes. And the reason is, when you open up, if you have like a printout of this, or if you open up the spiral binder, and you just like throw it on the table, it's possible that you could set up the table sideways. Just because it's a thing and you're just looking at it on a phone and swiveled and zoomed in or something. I think it's possible you could set up the table sideways, maybe. So you put this thing to help people out. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of as far as like really playing the game in real life in the sort of goofy way sometimes people do, I guess. If they find it difficult to look at a 4x3. I think people have probably done it in the past. It's probably happened. Anyway, add 1 hit rolls for units in the underdog's army if they charge this turn and are contesting the objective wholly within enemy territory. Hey, we got buffs. Nice. Free buffs if you're the underdog. Cool. And did some other stuff. Bad Moon is about to go east to west. Each player scores victory points. 1 if you control wholly within friendly, 2 on the border, and 5 wholly within enemy territory. And then 4 if you complete the battle tactics. So it's actually pretty easy to get above 6 on this. Right? If you got your opponents, if you have this one and this one, you're already over the cap, the 7. Okay. 6 cap is weird. Alright. I like Border War anyway. And the incarnations that we eventually got. In the whole one in the middle and do a BT. The BTs are separate. Hold on. Enhance. Enhance. Victory points scored by each player from, quote, controlling objectives, end quote, are capped at 6. So the 4 you get from battle tactic is separate from that. You can get a total of 10 between both each turn. Yeah, it's not 6 points total, it's from objectives. I almost misread it the first time as well. A little weird. I don't know that I like the capping. I kind of didn't necessarily like the capping in 3rd. But I guess it's fine. Doesn't ruin anything. And it's neat that they, hey, look, if you're an underdog, you have +1 to hit. Kick that guy off your objective or whatever. That's kind of neat. Some of them have you removing them entirely, at least for a turn. Some of them give you a buff. Not bad. You like standardized 50 per game? It's going to help make the game a lot cleaner competitively. Instead of 25. I guess. Every time I'm reminded of the stupid way that points are scored and tallied between rounds in tournaments and somehow matter even though they shouldn't, I'm slightly miffed. But I mean, it's 25 instead of 50. I don't know. Can anyone give me a response? I know you can clear stubs and lines in like 30 minutes on a model. But I really like to spend about 3 or 4 hours on them to make it look impossible to notice. Is that way too much to be spending, or is it about average? You're a new player, by the way. 3 or 4 hours on how many models, I guess. If it's on one model, that's probably too long. You know, hobbying is meant to be this thing that you do after work, and you're just chilling. You know, you're accomplishing something with your hands. It's creative. It has a definite start and finish. You know, so just like if you're happy with the pace at which you are doing it, then I don't see a problem. You don't need to rush if you don't want to. If I was doing a Stormcast model about this big, if we're just talking getting rid of mold lines and stuff with a little, you know, hobby knife, pull it towards you, I'm thinking like probably 1 minute. Maybe 1 minute. But that's like a GW plastic product. If you're 3D printing it and it's got all those 3D printer ass gross sideways lines, I don't know how long it takes to clean up a model from 3D printing. Maybe it is a long time, I'm not sure.
Twitch Prime.
Anyway, Zombie Monkey, thanks for the Prime Gaming sub. Appreciate it. Probably takes you, like, for new steel helms, like 10 or 15 minutes for each one. There's no sideways shit nowadays in 3D printing. Oh, okay. My 3D printing knowledge is old, so... Anyway, yeah, it's a super... That's a crazy long amount of time. But also, I don't know, are you needed in surgery? Do you got a place to be? If it's just some shit you're kind of like lean back in your chair, chilling, you're watching a stream, you're watching a movie or whatever. I don't know. Go at whatever pace you feel like. It's not a race. Anyway, the underdog earns a little more bite when they attempt to contest the enemy's home objective. Oh wait, is it home objective only? Contesting the objective wholly within enemy territory. Oh, okay, so only that one. Okay. Okay. Underdog thing matters a whole lot less now. It's still cool, but it matters a lot less. I guess they don't want the underdog to have too big of an advantage, I suppose. If you're going to spend hours painting, you might as well make your canvas clean. True. And, like, that's a long time. But, you know what's a longer amount of time than that? The rest of your entire life. Which is how long you will be looking at a giant mold line you were too lazy to get rid of and you painted your model over. And you'll see that. You will specifically notice that giant line on this thing you painted. Forever. So, yeah, it's a long time, but it could be worse. The Vice from 2011, 2021, I mean, shows a variation on how scoring reaches that fixed 10 per round as its objectives converge on the Sentry thanks to the twist, which also gives the underdog a chance to ship. Hey, look, it's the art of the Icebrow Hunter, boys. We're in. We're in. Confirmed Beastclaw Raiders staying the entire edition. Guaranteed. Our art is in the core rules. Marked safe. Enhance. The Vice. Kind of a appropriate name for a Games Workshop battle plan. At the start of the second battle round, after determining which player is the active player. After determining. The active player must remove the 4 starting objectives and set up a new objective at each of the next locations on the map. Alright. At the start of the 4th battle round, so 2 and 4. Right? 2 and 4. Remove all and there's only 1 remains. This takes forever and is annoying. Because there's going to be models there. Right? My suggestion to you, in real life, when you play the Vice, you might not have this many objectives. I would put the 9 of them down. And just remember which ones are activated. So that you don't have to, like, scoot it underneath models or terrain halfway through the game twice. And just remove the outer ones as you go when nothing is under them. Ahem. Pardon me. At the end of their turn, the underdog can pick 1 objective. Inflict D3 mortal damage on each unit contesting that objective. Nice. Including when only 1 of them is left. Nice. This is fun. It's annoying to do, but it's a fun battle plan. For me. Score 2 victory points if you control at least 1 objective. Score 2 if you control 2. 2 if you have more. 2, 4, 6. In battle rounds 4 and 5 only. Score 2 victory points if there are no enemy units within 6 of the remaining objective. Okay. And then 4 if you got the thing. Objectives might be impassable chips now, so it might be a bit easier. Well, I was about to say they couldn't be impassable because you have to stand on them, but maybe it's worded in such a way that it's 3 inches around that chip, so maybe they might be impassable. And they're smaller, so it's a lot easier to place them on places. They're what? 3 plus a base size now, and they used to be 6. So maybe it's a lot more doable nowadays. I like the terrain map too. That's a fun addition. This map layout can also be used for border war, focal points, shifting objectives, the Jaws of Galette, and Battle for the Pass. Nice. Area terrain examples: hills, storm vault, ruins, debris, statues, barricades, wildwood, fortress wall, realm gate, cleansing, aqua nexus siphon. Cool. That's fun. We're using the same map layout for a bunch of different stuff. Good. By the way, you definitely left the low-hanging fruit of Persona-style RPG dating sim where you play a Skaven who moves into New Undercity and has to make friends. Your working title is Gracie Orona. Yeah. It's a canceled Blizzard game, you know, along the lines of Full Throttle. Except with a big rat. A rat ogre with a stogie. Unenhance. There are still rules for player or place terrain, as with the current edition, but each battle plan comes with suggested layout. Big. Big if true. I like it. I like this. This is good. If I was a TO, maybe I would hate it. Because now I have to put more terrain on the table, and I have to do it in this way. But I don't know, maybe I wouldn't hate it. Any TOs, how do you feel about this? From the player side of this, suggested terrain placement is actually quite cool and nice. And they probably thought about it. I notice here that it's symmetrical. That's fair, right? Symmetrical in a few different directions. It always required 8, and there's 8 listed. Yeah, it always, I guess people ignored that, so they can ignore this as they wish as well. The 40k TOs got this, and they seem to like it. You like it, you always hate setting up terrain. Yeah, I like, and it defeats one of the... I don't know if it was a problem. I don't think it was really a problem. But a perceived problem, maybe. Of, you know... person gets to the table first and kind of pushes things how they like it for their army, you know, another person shows up and they just start playing. A little gamesmanship, you know. They got that Bobby Briccolini and they're putting the biggest terrain feature right in the middle. Hoping nobody notices. Anyway, I think this is mostly good. The season rules add extra nuance and theming to your games for the 24-25 season, which kicks off with the release of the new edition. The defining rule is On Our Guard. This rule lets you pick from one of 3 powerful abilities to give to a single honor guard unit in your general's regiment. Damn, I hope Beastclaw Raiders get to use these regiments, these things. Because I'm not gonna... Historically, as far as seasonal rules go, Beastclaw Raiders and my boys, Sons of Behemoth, typically didn't get to do shit with them. Hoping they matter, or we get to take advantage of them somehow. Since these abilities are chosen during the deployment phase, you can use them to adapt to your opponent's roster. Huge. I want them to zoom to do more. More. Do this more. I think you should be able to choose your spells and prayers and all that stuff. General artifacts, command traits, stuff like that. I think you should be able to choose all that during deployment. Which is like jury rigging up the game with somewhat of a sideboard kind of deal. To soften the blow of rock, paper, scissors in this one game a match style game. Anyway, good start. I hope they lean into it more in the future. Yeah, that's essentially my answer to sideboarding. Instead of bringing an extra 600 points of stuff to the tournament or requiring you to buy an extra 500 points of stuff or whatever, just let you choose all your rules stuff that doesn't matter, whatever you have written down anyway. It doesn't affect points at all. Let you choose that on deployment, I think. That's like my thing I would change. 40k used to have that choice, and it was such a pain because it took forever. It took forever in 40k because their shit costs points, as far as I know. Maybe it's different now. But in AOS, it's all free. And so you don't have to do any math. It's just like, oh, here's my 6 artifacts. I take this one. Here's my 6, or even 3 command traits. I choose this one. So, yeah, there would be no math. It's just this. Anyhow, Honor Guard. Once per battle, deployment phase. Declare. Pick a friendly unit in your general's regiment that is not your general to be the Honor Guard. You can pick a unit in reserve. Cool. If you use this ability, you cannot use any other Honor Guard abilities. Effect. Subtract 1 from the attack's characteristic of enemy unit melee weapons while they are in combat with your general if both of the following are true. -1, attacks characteristic, enemy unit, melee weapons, in combat with your general. If the Honor Guard is wholly within 6, okay, that's pretty close. Wholly within 6. And the Honor Guard did not charge. Okay. And it's once per battle because technically you use it in deployment, and then this effect just lasts for the rest of the game, right? I'm understanding this correctly. Like, you're not declaring this in the combat. It's like, deployment, I do this, and then I just remember this rule for the whole game. Did not charge. Heywoah's hope and optimism gone. It's fine. This is but one of the possible abilities. No big deal. Activate it and just let it go, yeah. Ahem. Is this good? It depends on how easy it is for the honor guard to be wholly within 6 of your general. I guess you just like move it around like this in one glob. -1 from the attack characteristic of enemy unit melee weapons when they're in combat with your general. That's a decent debuff. That is a meaningful debuff. Usually the thing that you're trying to kill a general with has a bunch of different weapon profiles, and so essentially giving that unit -3 or 4 attacks is considerable. Now it only works if they didn't charge. That's fine. That's kind of when you want it the most, almost, is when you get got, right? And then honor guard wholly within 6. That's the only thing. You can't use too big of a unit or too big of a squad or something, and they got to stick by him, which is, they're the honor guard. Of course you're going to have to stick by him. You can make something 0 attacks. As written here, yes. By the time we see all the rules, definitely not. I'm sure what they've done is written some core rule that says the lowest you can get to is 1. But yes, as written here, if you got 1 attack, 30 guys with a 1 attack, 0 attacks. I'm sure they have some band-aid on that one, but it's funny to read it out of context. Anyway, this is cool. Cool. And then even still in like Sons of Behemoth, okay, maybe in Sons of Behemoth it's kind of hard, but you could still technically do it. Is like Frost Lord, 4 Mournfang. Those Mournfang would count as your honor guard. You could do that. Now they're slower than the Frost Lord, and you know it's annoying to keep them next to each other, and you wouldn't want to do that, but you can technically do it at least. You know, King Broad and some Man Crushers or something. You could technically do that. And some of the previous ones, you couldn't even technically do it. Like, you just don't have a foot hero, right? So we've improved up to technically can do it. That's good. In Sons, you can make a Man Crusher the bodyguard, yep. Or even a mob of 3. KO are gonna love making their boats an honor guard. I think you can do that, right? It seems like you can. The general's an admiral, and then the ship is the honor guard. Let's go. You get to paint the ship up, call it, the HMS honor guard or something like that. Wait, no, you wouldn't want to do that because this is a seasonal rule. It'll go away eventually. But that is kind of cool. I think it's sweet. Grandis with bodyguards, having Grots for lunch. Make Gotrek a bodyguard. Yeah, as long as it's not a general, right? Pick a friendly unit in your general's regiment that is not your general. But it could be a hero. So if they're somehow, I bet that Gotrek is going to be always auxiliary. But I bet you could have, here's, Bastion Carthalos and his honor guard, the Celestin Prime or something. Like, that could be kind of, little double dragon action. That's kind of cool. Make Crazy a bodyguard for Krondis. Now you're thinking with portals. Yeah. Anyway, kind of cool. The defensive choice is bodyguard. Yeah, so this is the defensive choice. I think they said there were 3, right? Yeah, one of 3 powerful abilities. So the first one is bodyguard. Conceivably, the other one, there we have an offensive one, a defensive one, and maybe a good one. And the good one is movement or utility or something. The defensive choice is Bodyguard, an ability that turns your honor guard into a human, Duarden, Daemon, Verminous, etc. shield for your general, reducing the efficacy of their assailants when they're caught up in the brawl of melee. General's Handbook 2425, found in the impending launch box, comes in a card format featuring season rules, battle tactics, battle plans, scoring cards in a handy format. Standalone release version will contain all of this, alongside the core rules, advanced rules, and latest rules for endless spells, and the tournament organizer pack providing guidance, guidance, if you will, for event organizers. Next, we'll be taking a look at some of the battle tactics. Yeah, we'll read that in a second. Hold up. The standalone release version will contain all of this, alongside core rules, advanced rules, which is the modular thing they were talking about, the latest rules for endless spells, and a tournament organizer pack providing guidance for event organizers. Oh, tightening the leash, huh? Interesting. Cool. T. Sterling Little, thanks for the becoming a Heywoah enjoyer. Appreciate it. Seems kind of weak compared to 40k. Keyword leaders merge into the unit and can only be targeted by characters with precision. I think we have stuff like that. Although less so. Read the asterisks. Hold up. I will. That is also fun, but the Warhammer Studio assures us there's more to life. Warhammer Age of Sigmar's equivalent to secondary objectives will have a whole article, yeah. And that the grand strategies are not part of this matched play season. Alright, grand strategies. See you in hell. However, you weren't as bad as battle tactics, unfortunately, but we flushed the toilet and jiggle the handle. Get out of here. They are leaving themselves the opportunity to add it later if they want, though. Right? They can add those later, according to that specific text. Utility will either be busted wide open or we'll just take the other two. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it always works, right? First time catching you live, you've gotten me back into the hobby after years. Hyped to be catching bad news. It's a bit of a click, right? I don't like battle tactics, but still, everything I've heard has been good for 4th edition, so it's not a big deal. As an EO, that's got to be event organizer. You can almost guarantee that you will be ignoring most of the organizer pack, for sure. Especially if it's dumb. Age of Sigmar has a time-honored history of totally ignoring the really stupid suggestions that they often try to give. And rightly so, as long as everybody's on board with it. It'd be a pain if we splintered off into a bunch of different warring factions, all with their own house rules. That's a bad end, like the bad future. But in general, most people in the TO scene seem to be able to agree when it's like, hey, Games Workshop has a ruling where you put your model in halfway off the table, and that's how you do it. And everyone's just like, no, I don't think we will. Anyway, battle tactics are the key to winning in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Yeah, that's what I don't like about them. Here's how they work in new AOS. Alright, we finally get to the bad news. I was hoping battle tactics would be jettisoned into the sun, flushed down the toilet, lit on fire, whatever, to get them out entirely. Like Battle Shock and Bravery. Just gone. Straight better game. Unfortunately, they must stay. I'm sad. But how will they stay? So far, I've liked most of the changes in 4th Ed, so we will see. Fighting over objectives is a large part of winning battles in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, but pursuing battle tactics is key to victory. Battle tactics are secondary objectives for 40k, for what you saw. Yeah, I think historically speaking, battle tactics have always been like secondary objectives in 40k, I think. Again, not a 40k player, but it's the same concept. Whether you're playing with the First Blood, Match Play, or General's Handbook Battle Pack, you'll be using battle tactics. So let's get to grips with them. It's sort of like, yes, we know you hate them. We know everyone hates them. Fucking deal with it. You know, I will deal with it, actually. I'm just going to grumble about it. But I'll just deal with it, yeah. If you're new to Warhammer Age of Sigmar, battle tactics are secondary objectives you'll want to complete each turn, whilst also trying to secure objectives and slay your opponent's warriors. Yep. At the start of your turn, you can pick one battle tactic using the Tactical Gambit ability. Upon completing that... Oh, I guess... Man, they said everything was an ability in 4th edition. That's true. Even battle tactics are abilities. Hey, they said it. That's what it is. Upon completing that battle tactic, you'll be rewarded 4 valuable victory points to supplement the 6 you can score each round from that game's battle plan. Okay? Once per battle turn, or battle round, start of your turn. Tactical Gambit. Throw in playing cards to blow up. You cannot use this ability if you went second in the previous battle round and chose to go first in the current battle round. Once again, they're using the choose language, which means you can't give your opponent a double to stop them from scoring, which was a concern early on, because I'm like, damn, this makes a double turn so bad that if you take one, you lose the game. And so now I don't want the meta to become I won priority and give my opponent a double so they lose. But they thought of that. They thought of that one already. You can't give it away. It's only if you choose it, right? Pick one battle tactic that you have not yet attempted. You can attempt to complete that battle tactic this turn. All right, fair enough. Is this a deck of cards of battle tactics? Do you know of the deck of cards of objectives in 40k? I've had it explained to me, and I've tried to pay attention to it, but I failed. It's something like you can choose 2, or you can get 3, but they're random, and so it's kind of an either or. They use a deck of cards. I don't know if we're doing that for AOS or not, but I've heard something about it. Essentially, it's not 5. It's not 1 every battle round. I don't think. It's like a few of them. Or maybe it's you get 2 points if you choose it, and you get 3 points if it's random or something. It's something like, if you choose the random one, you get rewarded, right? Because it's, you know... You can only pick a battle tactic you haven't yet attempted. And a crucial change in the new edition is that you can't pick a battle tactic if you win the priority roll and choose to take a second consecutive turn. Yeah. Which means... I mean, man, if battle tactics are worth 4 points... Does this largely kill anyone ever taking a double turn? Let's use hyperbolic language, I guess. At what point did people currently take double turns competitively? If they think that would instantly win them the game, usually you give it away. Like you just want to go second each battle round. It's like the position you like to get into in general. And so mostly you do you go, I go, unless it's going to be the trapdoor that shuts the game. I think this just reinforces that for the most part. The only other time you take a double turn is if you're losing so hard that you're just like, well, I guess I have to take it because I'm losing real bad. So this is my only shot. Does this rule actually kill that, I wonder? Like the Hail Mary double turn? Like, well, I'm losing real bad, so I have to take a double, and then you can't even score max points on that turn, so you're just like extra dead and not even a double can save you. I don't know. Obviously I'm using hyperbole here a lot, but I'm just thinking about it. Maybe it's something you go for early and it just reinforces the type of army that flips a coin to try to cripple them early. And then hopefully have essentially tabled them by the bottom of 3 or something, and then that's your big strat. I guess it stops a points double if you're losing. There's still the copium hopium damage double if you're losing, right? It's also a decent defensive option if you have no good tactic. No good tactic. I kind of feel like if you don't have a good tactic to do, you built your army wrong. And I don't want to say that because it hurts me to say that. Because I don't want that to be the game. But it kind of is. I don't know. We'll see. Importantly, however, if your opponent wins priority roll and decides to let you take 2 turns in a row, you can't. You can still pick one, yeah. Each battle plan in the core rules and the new General's Handbook allows you to score a maximum of 10 victory points each round, so winning the priority roll and taking 2 turns in a row means forfeiting your ability to score 4 of those 10 points. And it previously was 5, basically, and 2. So the numbers doubled, but nothing really changed. That's a sizable opportunity cost and one you'll need to consider carefully before choosing not to do it ever. Double turn can have a major impact on the game. Choosing to forfeit a battle tactic might let you consolidate your control of the board or use your momentum to surge forth and severely damage your opponent's army. Though new command abilities like countercharge give your opponent more tools than ever to stall your momentum. Yeah, it's just like, yeah. You take the double to like get lucky and just cry, like they have nothing left alive. Otherwise, probably not. It's probably not worth. On the other hand, if you misjudge and can't fully capitalize on your double turn, you could find yourself quickly falling behind in victory points. This is like most of the time. Battle tactic module contains 6 universal battle tactics. Oh, here we go. Here we get to the amount of them. The battle tactics module contains 6 universal battle tactics, which are used in both the First Blood and the General's Handbook. Okay, so we got 6 universal ones. To carve out a path to victory, you'll need to carefully consider each battle tactic you'll declare each turn. Yep, it grinds the game to a halt every time somebody has to pick one. Are you safe to pick Seize the Center near the start of the game if you think you can guarantee stake and claim with no reprisal? Or do you risk being undone by an opponent using the covering fire or countercharge commands? Yeah. So, universal battle tactics. Seize the Sentry. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if 2 or more friendly units are within 3 of the center of the battlefield and are not in combat. So this is the please countercharge me off the table, these units are dead. Like, you choose 2 units that are fast, put them in the center of the table, perfectly like you're handing them to your opponent to just kill them, right? And now you get the countercharge them and then everybody fights in the middle, right? Okay. So this one, it's good to have things that are fast, right? And not in combat. Take the flanks. You complete this battle tactic in your turn. I was hoping this wouldn't be a thing. I hate this. I hate this one. Oh, and I hate the fact that I always have to take it because I don't have any better ones. Fucking within 6 inches of each short battlefield edge, none of those units are wholly within friendly territory, and none of those units are set up. I hate doing this. I'm mad. Okay. Yeah. Do the worst deployment you've ever fucking seen for 4 points. Sure. Okay. At least it's not 3. At least you don't have to backboard something. It's only 2, right? And then slay the entourage. Pick a unit in the enemy general's regiment. You complete this battle tactic if that unit is destroyed. Hey, you kill one. Alright, this one should be alright. Alright, fair enough. So here we have 3. Kill something from general's regiment. Do the stupid deployment. Not as stupid as now, but still annoying. Or offer up on a silver platter something that is okay to die. Sorry, 2 things that are meant to die. Flanks is the most free so far, yeah. I don't like doing it, and it makes for an awkward-ass deployment, but it's the freest one. I mean, the units don't die, right, like these would. Wouldn't you get tank to flanks if you had a very fast couple of units? You could also do it that way as well. Yeah, you could. Take the flanks may require some forward thinking. Yeah, it's deploying. Slay the entourage means killing the thing. Even if a battle tactic appears to be easy to score in the current round, the decision to attempt it is important, especially if it's competing with other ones. Yeah, it's opportunity cost. Yep. Ahem. Also includes 2 extra battle tactics for each Grand Alliance. 2 extra battle tactics for each Grand Alliance, alongside the Honor Guard season rule. These provide some extra flexibility outside the universal battle tactics and replace faction-specific. Ooh, okay.
We're safe on Mars.
Good. Faction-specific battle tactics were the worst part of the whole umbrella of battle tactics. So, good. A pox on their name. Get them out. Out. Get them out. I don't necessarily like Grand Alliance ones either, for a similar reason. Well, it looks like you get 2 per. So, what is it? There are 6 Universal and 2 Grand Alliance. So you have 8. You have 8 battle tactics to build your army around, guaranteeing 5 of. Generally, no matter what. And then you split up the entire game into turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, and decide how every single game of Age of Sigmar will be the same for you. Sad. But better than it used to be. Let's see. Now, before I read these, every Grand Alliance gets 2 of them. So this is only 1 of them, right? Who do you think... Oh, damn. Everybody from chat's already read this, so I can't do it. I was going to say, who do you think gets the free one, right? Which entire Grand Alliance gets to start with 4 victory points for free? And which Grand Alliance... Ooh, mine's hard, right? I don't know. We'll see. I don't have a prediction here. I'm not sure. Order. Reclaim the realm. At least they're flavorful. That's nice. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if there are 1 or more friendly units wholly within each quarter of the battlefield and more than 6 inches from all enemy units. That's hard. It's the end of your turn, so it's... You could... the whole be in combat thing, maybe that's not. Depending on your that's the problem with this. Depending on your army, this is really easy or kind of tricky. Right? Marked for the grave. Death. Pick a non-hero enemy unit that has not had any models slain. If there are no non-hero enemy units on the battlefield, you can pick any enemy unit. What a nice... Before I even talk about the rest of this thing, they were thinking, if there are no non-hero enemy units on the battlefield, you can pick any enemy unit. How hard was that? What a good solution. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if that unit is destroyed. Okay, death free. Pick something and kill it. It's free. So far, death is the freest free that ever freed. What about chaos? Pick an objective controlled by your opponent. You complete this battle tactic at the end of the turn if 2 or more friendly units charged and 1 or more of those units are contesting it. Kind of free. You have to charge 2 things, which is a little... that's a little harder. That's a little harder, but it's essentially steal an objective, and you were going to steal an objective, right? That's how you play the game. You just trade back and forth objectives. You do have to control that objective, but that's what you're going to do anyway. If you weren't doing that, you weren't winning the turn anyway, right? Yeah, 2 or more, that's a rough one. Death so far, unless I'm misreading it, death friggity free. Reclaim the realms, maybe early, depending on your army. More than 6 inches from all enemy units, that becomes kind of tough later on, and spreading all out, that one's weird. Chaos, time to get stuck in. Pick 3 friendly units that are not in combat and are wholly within friendly territory. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if each of those units wholly outside your territory and use the fight. 3 friendly units, and they all have to be wholly within your territory at the start, and then they have to be what? Wholly outside and fought? Jesus. That's rough. If your opponent doesn't hand you this one on purpose early, you might have to do some, like, turn 4, I retreat back into my territory so that turn 5 I can start in my territory and get out of it with all 3 entire units. I don't have more than 3 friendly units left alive usually at the bottom at turn 3. Yeah, that's weird. That's fucked up. Alright. We can... Each Grand Alliance gets 2, remember, and you have a total of 8 that you have to choose 5 from. So you can get some clunkers. So far, death. Absolutely free. Sometimes freedom is free. First place, S tier, easy. Just kill something. Holy shit, easy. Second place, maybe a tie between Reclaim and Ordained. Because Ordained is 2 or more friendly units, it's not just 1, and you have to control that objective. That makes Ordained a little harder. You have to essentially one-shot it, and yeah, cool. And then Reclaim the Realms, it's... I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, things can happen that you can do to screw it up. Redeploy into it. All 4 board zones, kind of tricky. Time to get stuck in. Randomly impossible. Sometimes easy enough, right? Early game, if you can have 3 entire charges from your territory outside, but damn, I don't know about that. Really rough one. Really rough. Time to get stuck in sounds so hard for Cruel Boys. Free for Beast Claw. It's not even free for Beast Claw, necessarily. Pick 3 friendly units that are not in combat. That's 1,500 points. On what turn of the game are are 1,500 of my points going to be wholly within my territory, and each have makeable charges exactly wholly outside of my territory, and then I make all of them. Yeah, sometimes, right? Sometimes. You got to do this early, and your opponents have to like sprint across the table to like allow you to do that. Anyway, it's definitely easier for me to do it than for Cruel Boys, right? So anyway, oof. Yeah, it's the 3 or more that makes it tricky for Beastclaw. It has to be the overwhelming majority of my whole army starts wholly within my territory and ends wholly outside of my territory. And those charges have to exist. Is every map split cleanly into 50-50 enemy territory? We don't know. Anyway, I was scrolling up to find the battle plan. We don't know. If there are any that aren't and have the smaller deployment zones, then this one's like impossible. I hope not. Like, if we get those battle plans where they have the little deployment zones, this shit's, like, impossible. Just never gonna happen. We'll see. And this is kind of a reason why faction-specific battle tactics were cooked. Because here they had to make 4, and they're kind of loppy. Why was it not just charged with 3 units? It could be successfully charged with 3 units. I don't know. Maybe that's too easy. The problem with battle tactics are... Okay, there's a bunch of problems, but one of them is... if they're automatic, then why have them? If everyone just gets them every time, no matter what. Mechanically. You kind of want them to be hard enough so that they don't always work, you know? So that people can drop them. But players want guaranteed ones. 100% automatic, right? Because they don't want to drop any. And so you're kind of at odds a little bit with what players want, you know? Three's a lot of units. Maybe there's some counterplay against Death having to choose that unit at the start. I mean, you could redeploy, you can... There's a little bit of stuff, you know? I'm thinking about now, okay. If everybody has to pick between the same, essentially, 8 of them, what can you do to stop people? There's a little bit of counterplay now. It used to be just the Wild West. There was a million ones they could choose and who the fuck knows. But now it's like, well, maybe it's worth me going to the center. Just so that's a battle tactic my opponent cannot do next turn, right? Pick a unit in the General's Regiment. You complete this battle tactic if that unit is destroyed this turn. Maybe on some random turn your opponent has done these 2. And you could think ahead. Hey, you know what? General's Regiment, it's chilling. Way back here. I don't know. I wonder if the battle tactics will become second nature enough to players that they'll be able to start counterplaying a little bit with them. Even though it's from one turn to another. To say nothing of the reactions you can do on somebody else's turn, right? Age of Redeploy and Countercharge? Probably. Hey, redeploy is still a D6. Alright, I'm going to spend a command point. Let's see this one. Yep, it's the one. You got me. Fuck. I don't know. There might be a lot of that going on in future. Encourage you to be counterplayed. Yeah, in list building as well. Because there's Slay the Entourage. What if your general's retinue is just only humongous crowds, just only Blight Kings or something? Oh, I'm going to put the beefiest units in there so they're the hardest to kill. We don't yet quite know how deadly AOS still is. Historically, pretty deadly, but we haven't seen every war scroll in the game and all sorts of stuff, yeah. Since all battle tactics are now part of the annual general... Wait, all battle tactics. Oh, pardon me. I thought the universal ones were in the core rules. I'm wrong. The General's Handbook has the universal ones. Does this mean that there are no battle tactics in the core rules? They're only in GHB? Am I reading this right? Since all battle tactics are now part of the annual General's Handbook, Warhammer Studio will have more opportunities to balance battle tactics and ensure play. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I will take this sentence at face value. They've done stuff like this before. Matt Rose and his team were generally like doing stuff, looking at data, tweaking stuff, and changing stuff that didn't work. Interesting that all battle tactics are GHB. Cool. This means that they can get improved in the future or changed, or this one didn't work out, or we found this one was a little too easy, so we changed it in this way. Okay. Yeah, we're not stuck with stinkers, essentially. Next week, we'll be pulling back the curtain on Spearhead, the fast and furious new game mode for Age of Sigmar, and learning more about the changes to endless spells, invocations, and faction terrain in the new edition. Perhaps there will even be a shiny new miniature. Have to wait and see. Okay, so next week we're talking about Spearhead and 1K games. So I'm going to have to come up with some content to do. Because I don't give a shit about 1K games. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm 50% kidding. It's interesting to me whether or not they get 1K into a good place. It would be good for the game if they did. So I'm still going to like read it and talk about it and be interested in it. But tier list stream. Next time, probably. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose. Nose blowing intensifies. BRB. Or are we back? Ugh. I didn't want to pull a Pippa, you know? Get one of those Sajams out. Alright, marked safe. If Matt Rose can get Heywoah to play 1K, he might be the Messiah. At least on Al-Ghaib. Yeah, true. It looks like a great opportunity to dabble in factions you don't want to commit to. And that's their intent, yeah. I don't say that from like a company bad perspective. It's just like, yeah, that's the goal. What they want to do is make it easier for people to get into their game. And that's like good, right? Ahem. You have a concern. GW is a big company. And they start printing new stuff way ahead of the release date. How are they going to capture all... What the fuck music is this? Next? Alright, anyway. Pardon me. Apologies for the interruption. GW is a big company, and they start printing new stuff way ahead of the release date. So are they going to capture all data and give it to print on time if they have 1 year and next year to release a new GHB? Probably going to use the patches for that, you know? Like they do those bounce patches now. That's probably what they're going to be doing. They have, in general, big plans. They can change it up until the print date. And then after that, it's like, oh, we'll do that in one of those patches. No, that wasn't Metal Slug. Although, it's a fantastic game series. That's easy. The printed book will be out of date upon release. Yeah, that's why printed books for stuff like this, instead of digital rules, is simply a dinosaur, a thing of the past. A thing that makes your game worse and sluggish and slower and worse for the player. But Games Workshop's business model is selling books, and so they're going to keep selling books. We should be thankful they do anything digital at all, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Google's trying to set the mood for release on OG. Yeah. You mean it's gonna work? You're already curious about starting a 1K Ard Boys collection, dude? Like, as I said, it's just really good for the game. If 1K is good, $50 plus tax, please, or Wahapedia.com, like most of the players, because that's a crazy cost. No thanks. You'd rather read big book pages than a tiny iPhone screen? Same. But I don't want to carry that book around. I'll carry the phone around. Does current 40 kilometers have to pay for app usage? Unknown. Don't know. Just get a tablet. GG easy, no re. Yeah, no rematch. Anyway, that's it. That was somewhat painless, you know. I did a stream title, and I'm all like, this is bad news. Battle tactics are sadly still in the game, but they got rid of faction battle tactics, which were the shittiest ones. And they got rid of grand strats, which were dumb as well. But I think grand strats could have been the chosen ones. You could have done a cool thing with grand strats. Pick two, and you have to complete them by the end of the game, and then rewrite them so that they're good. That would have been the cool future. Unfortunately, we had to keep battle tactics. Sag. And they're okay. All right. Anyway, that's that. Kind of painless. This is truly, I guess the stream title works out. It's the first legitimately bad news that I've heard so far about 4th edition. Which is pretty much a good thing. Keeping it positive. I've only heard great things about all of 4th edition. Kind of excited for it. Definitely can't wait to see all the indexes and stuff. Very much look forward to 4th ed. Even if they're keeping the thing I like least in the game, which is battle tactics. They got rid of the worst type of them. Good. And grand strats are gone. Alright. Definitely it could have been way worse. Yeah, if this is as bad as it gets, chill, right? It's been like 6 years, and they still haven't relaxed about Primaris Marines. Are those the ones that look like they're from Call of Duty? I always thought those guys looked weird. Looked like they were from a video game. Too humanoid for me. But then again, I'm not a 40k player, so I don't know which way from up on those. Yeah, a win is a win. And before female Stormcast drama, well, there would be no drama, because Stormcast have been mixed units in the lore since the very beginning, and in the models since, what, second wave, I think. And there have been heroes and yeah, it's not like a lore thing. I'm sure there's got to be someone on planet Earth who is mad about female Space Marines from a I hate women point of view, but in general, I think they're just really stuck up about the lore. Or something. I mean, Stormcast are cool. There would be no drama because grown men play AOS. Damn. Got him. I'm trying to grill up here. I'm trying to flip burgers on the grill. You had someone get fussy with you in your local community. You had to gently explain to him that a female Stormcast has been the poster model for the last 2 editions. Yeah, she's on the cover. And it's good art, too. I don't know. Shit's sick. Oh, speaking of, she's on the cover. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Cuties of Sigmar? Yeah. Indrasta, my beloved. Alright, chat, it's time. One last One final bit of shameless slop content before we pack it up for this evening. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for the subs and the bits and the primes. We got through it. This one hurt. We had to get our shot. But I guess the lollipop we get at the end is all the other good stuff happening with 4th Ed. And now, would you rather stay outside all your life or stay inside all your life? Easy. Stay inside all your life. I've already chosen to do this. I'm a hermit. Imagine. Like, so fucking easy. Am I right?